I'm here in Sisak, Croatia with Frank and Emily Tijsterman. They are FIM missionaries serving here. Originally it was Emily serving here, and then Frank, you guys met on a work team. Is that what happened?
Kind of, yeah. I was on a football camp. I came from the Netherlands just to play some football with some kids.
Excellent. And met Emily, and you're married, and now you're both serving together here. So we want to just talk a little bit about the need here in Croatia. And maybe Emily, if you could describe to us or tell us, how is it that the Lord called you to be serving here in Croatia?
Yeah, so I first came here in 2017 with an organization called Tijsterman, and I was here for 2 years with them in the summer. And I really saw the need for full-time ministry for the youth specifically in Sisak because I didn't see anybody working with them. And so through a couple of years I got educated, and then I met FIM and I got to be a part of FIM, and then I was able to move here full-time in 2021.
And you started language study? Or
yes.
Did you know a lot of Croatian already?
I had already started learning Croatian actually when I was in high school, but I had really started studying in January of 2020. So about a year before I moved here, I started.
Emily, tell us what the status of the church is here in Croatia, and even specifically here in Sisak.
So I think generally the status of the Protestant church in Croatia as a whole is very limited. There is, I think we said about 0.2% of the population that are actually Protestant Christians. There are not very many born-again believers in Croatia, and especially in Sisak. Also, there is a huge economic crisis, so there are people leaving Croatia, but there's a definite need for the gospel, and people have very hard hearts here.
And Frank, what have you observed about the Christian community here compared to Netherlands?
It's a lot smaller, even though in the Netherlands it's already quite small and there's not a lot of people, but here it's just like here in Sisak, it's a community of 30 people. And so you've got 30 born-again believers, and that's the whole community in a city of like 60,000 people.
Wow. You're in language school, and you are serving here in the church. You're still working, connected to your company in Netherlands. Tell us a little bit about what you do in ministry here in Sisak.
Yeah, so my main focus right now is to learn the language and learn the culture, and that will take probably a few years, but it's going well so far. And then what I'm doing right now in church is mostly trying to help Emily out in the things she's doing with Sunday school, especially the youth group is really quite great, and to see the kids growing, that's always very rewarding. And other than that, I'm now preaching once a month.
Excellent, excellent. Emily, what are some of the needs for additional workers and additional missionaries in Croatia?
Oh, well, definitely we can have people visiting all the time. I love it when people come and visit. It's like my favorite thing. But definitely in the camp ministry here, there's a need for actual physical work. As you saw at camp, there's a lot of need for physical building, but also things like VBS, summer programs, that's all welcome because they get really excited when foreigners come. Because here it's like people are leaving, people are trying to get out of Croatia, go to the West, but when people come from the West, they're just shocked that that actually happens. So it's always a big attraction when people come, and actually it opens up opportunities for the gospel.
And there's one other missionary family here actually they're not even in Sisak, they're in a neighboring town,
Yes,
correct?
yeah.
Yeah, and you're partnering with them and trying to develop and reach the church.
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent. How can people pray for you and your ministry here?
Oh, I think the biggest need is for open hearts, because it's tough to find people who are willing even to talk about the gospel. And so that's a huge need. But also for us, as we continue to learn in ministry, especially as we are in the beginnings of ministry as a couple, that's a big need for us, I would say.
Frank, how can we be praying for you and Emily, for your family, and for what you're doing here at the church in Sisak?
I think for wisdom, for the Lord to guide us, because there's so much need here in Sisak, there's a lot of opportunities to do things. But God only calls us to do specific things.
Yes.
And so what is it specifically that He wants us to do? Because that's where He's really working through us.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much. We're so excited to be here, and it gives me a better understanding of your ministry and our ability to share it with those of your friends and those who are supporting you from the U.S. and Canada. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.